Right.
Arpeggios are harder to play than scales.
Yeah.
Because you got to leave notes out.
Right. You got
Yeah,
to
it's not the baby steps.
Yeah. But
Gotta take some big boys.
and then some, you know, if you want to get to the flow, see, some people don't want to play lead guitar, which is just fine. Some people want to do just melody. Some people want to do whatever.
Mm-hmm. So
So it doesn't really matter what approach it is you want to do. So there's no, you have to do this, you have to do that. But it's great to have your daily minimum requirement be what's on those 6 pieces of paper.
And it's just good to have a daily minimum requirement because I play a lot, but it's really unstructured.
Right.
Like it's not. That is, like that's good. That's good. To
Right,
do.
and so what I mean by that daily minimum requirement is I believe, and you know, that's just me, I believe everybody should be their minimal knowledge on the guitar.
Yeah.
That's what I believe.
Yeah.
And so that eliminates a lot of players.
Yeah.
And so that's just how I feel about it.
Yeah.
It's that's, you know, the thing about pop culture and pop music, meaning anything that's out there,
Right.
is there is no bar.
Right.
And so anything goes. You can shit on stage and people might dig it.
Oh my God, it's art.
Yeah, right, exactly. So that's what the thing is. You go to the orchestra and you're going to audition, you better know the piece.
Yeah.
And you're not getting in the door unless you can play it,
Yeah.
right? There's a bar.
Right.
There is no bar for
Pop music because it's just like
Right.
whatever goes.
Yeah.
Whatever people like.
Right. So that's how that works. So it's something that that I think is the daily minimum requirement.
Yeah.
And the classical theory part of it, which is what all this is, and that's the only reason you're learning the minor 7 flat 5s because they're the 7th step of harmonizing the scale.
Right. It's the last. It's the
Right.
last thing.
Yeah. So that's the reason that you learn them. And if you can harmonize that, all these tunes. Yeah, I don't know if you remember the old tune "Feelin' Groovy" by Simon and Garfunkel.
No Simon Garfunkel. I don't know that
Okay.
song.
Whatever, looking for "Feelin' Groovy." Da, 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 da. It's just 4, 3, 2, 1, and that's what. So the doo-wop music, blue moon. Yeah, da, 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 da. That's 1, 6, 2, 5.
6, 2, 5.
The doo-wop stuff was in so many songs in the 50s. So it's just following theory. That's all it is.
Yeah.
And it's not jazz theory, it's strictly classical theory. And yeah, so that's what you want to know.
Yeah.
Every chord you play, you want to know the arpeggio for it, except for, like I say, you'll probably do the minor 7 flat 5s. I've never even bothered to do them,
Mm-hmm.
you know. But every one of them, just what's the arpeggio? Now you can do it, and I can't do this stuff anymore. I used to be able to. But like our arpeggio run. Go up. I can't remember how long. Anyway, but just everything can be said with arpeggios.
Right.
Everything can be said with scales. Everything can be said with chords. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So it's just, that's what you need to learn right there. Okay. And incidentals, we already talked about that a little bit. There's a place for them, there's a place not for them, but you're gonna find them, like I said, you're gonna find them between usually flat 3 and 3,
Yeah.
boogie with,
Yeah.
right? And blues, all blues stuff is that. And you're gonna find them between 4, 5, 6, and you can
Oh,
find
yeah, yeah.
between flat 7 to 7 to 8, right? So that's what you're trying to get there. Hammer-ons. This is something that I'll do a lot. When you play scale UR, which is what that learning all those scales is,
Yeah.
you pick every note, right?
Right.
But when you start getting into actual playing, I'll play incredible amount of times where I'll play 3 notes per pick.
Right.
So it'd just be like, right?
Yeah. Right.
You
Right.
know? And so it's not the same volume for every note,
Right.
but it's what I'll do an awful lot. And that just makes it a little looser because that pick and everything like that, the regimented part of it.
Yeah.
Okay. And the same thing with bends. You know, you can. I can't. It's a little early in the morning.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing. If I'm gonna,
So you can bend pretty much every note
yeah.
on the scale.
Well, you can bend from one to the next.
Right.
It's either a half step or a whole
Right,
step.
so you just have to kind of get from A to B.
Okay, and back to the pentatonic thing. Why don't I like pentatonic? Because it kind of makes people not have to think.
Yeah.
Not have to learn anything.
Yeah.
And
Guilty.
oh, it's a relative minor. I can play the blues scale. Fuck that. What about all the other notes in there?
Yeah.
So that's something that I just have always despised.
No, and that's actually so true, because as you're saying that, it's like, God damn, I'm so guilty of that.
It keeps people as beginners.
Yeah.
It does, because they don't progress past that. It's let's play the blues, And as far as like 3-chord blues guys go, they played the same fucking scale for 40 years. You should be good at it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, that guy's ripping it up. Yeah, well, he's done the same thing.
Right.
The sacred 7, they call it, the dominant 7 scale. Now, there's one. This is just a little pointer. A lot of tunes in major, a whole bunch of them, and you have 3 choices when you're playing, and you have to hear them with your ear how the song works. Okay, you either have a major 7 in it,
Right.
right? Even over a straight major triad, you have a flat 7 over it, and then there's songs that have no 7, and if you put one in, it won't fit.
It just sounds weird.
It just doesn't fit. It doesn't work.
That's interesting.
There's a Dire Straits tune, "The Walk of Life," from Johnny, right? And there's my great example of that is Eric Clapton, who of course I knew from 1969-70, when he was great player, but not after that. So Dire Straits is playing Wembley Arena in London, 80,000 people. And we're going to bring out the great Eric Clapton, right? Oh, the world's greatest guitar player.
Right.
And they're playing the tune Walk of Life. And just straight triad, that's all it is.
Right.
And he comes out and he's playing a blues licks with a flat 7. And it doesn't, it toilets the tune. The tune goes in the fucking toilet.
Really?
And here's this drag,
Right, just fucked it up.
So you're gonna run into tunes like that, and that's the most place you'll run into it. That's the only time you're really gonna run into that problem. You can still play a Dorian minor over a harmonic. It doesn't really matter. It still works. All right. You can have that in that kind of tune. You can still, even though flat 7 major, you can still do it.
Kind of get it.
But the major thing there is,
don't play 7.
is the tune gonna have a 7 or not?
Yeah.
So if we're just playing, let's say, just a simple kind of thing, right? Am I gonna play it? And that's the question. Or is it gonna be a major 7 that's actually kind of a funkier tune? And that's the most common one, the flat 7 over a major. The mixolydian over it. So that's just something to keep you aware when you're playing with somebody.
Yeah.
Like these guys will do a bunch of tunes like that.
Yeah.
And you'll find yourself like, well, damn, does a 7 belong? And
how do you figure that out?
Huh?
How do you figure out when it's not going to work?
Your ear.
You just have to listen.
Yeah, I don't think there's a mathematical way to do
hard
that.
and fast way to figure out.
But the most common thing is, is the dominant. The mixolydian over major, over dominant.
Right.
Anyway, then